All right, everyone, let's go ahead and get started. Here is just going to be a chipboard piece that I cut down to ATC size. You can see it's a little thick. I do plan on doing lots of layering. For this ATC set, I'm going to be using the Feathers Shape Set provided by Gina's Designs. And here you can see that's the smallest feather in the collection, and I just used some gesso over it. I didn't get too crazy with how to apply the gesso, so I just used one of my little bristle brushes. It's really wiry and it leaves a lot of streaks. We'll also be using some modeling paste, and I used just a little palette knife to apply, and I'll be using that with a Prima stencil. It's a wood grain stencil from the last release they just had. And then I'll be using for some paper, it's Seven Gypsies, the Conservatory, and I'm sorry my son got a hold of it, but I'm just showing you what the papers kind of look like. And for this ATC, I'm going to do lots of layering. So here I'm just kind of flipping through and seeing if there's anything else that I want to take out that I haven't already kind of pre-cut or pre-shredded. And I did choose another sheet that had a lot of collaging on it already, which is pretty much what I'm going to be doing. As you can see, here are all my little scraps. I really like the script on this piece of paper. It's really nice and great for having in the background. So here are all my little pieces that I plan on using to kind of piece my ATC together. I will be using matte gel medium to adhere it all down to the chipboard, and I will also be using the Distress Paint Rusty Hinge. These are Tim Holtz brand new paints that he just came out with, as well as the Wild Honey color. I really like how soft the Wild Honey looks against the Rusty Hinge. And then I'll also be using Fireworks, the color Summer Sky by, I want to say it's pronounced Sukiniko. I'm not too sure. Here I'll also be using a walnut ink and antiquing solution and just some lace from my collection. The style is called Penelope, and I've got my ribbon from Really Reasonable Ribbon. So here I'm just going to speed things up. You'll see I cut another piece out from that little collage sheet and just kind of cut it all up. And I'm going to really fidget through all my little scraps on how I want to piece this ATC together. Collaging is so easy to do because really you just throw pieces down and either you like it or you don't like it. You cut more parts up, you don't like it, you get more scraps and more other pieces. See here I'm just tearing and making it all fit. And of course you can change it 100 times before you actually start to glue down. But if you start to think about things too much, it becomes more of a chore trying to put something together. So just go with it and get through it. Once you like it, if you have to take a break and step away, if it's not turning out how you want it to, take a break until you get it the way you like it. For me, this is my third ATC that I'll be making out of this set, and of course you'll be able to see it on my blog once they're done. I also have some pictures of them finished up after the video as well. So finally I said, let's just glue. So I'm grabbing my pieces and I'm gluing everything down. Once again, I'm using that matte gel medium and I'm just using that brush. It's just my universal get dirty, messy brush. I don't use any particular special brush for my matte gel or for my gesso when I do my projects at this moment. I know I keep telling myself I need to have brushes that are specific for just one thing. So here I'm going to grab some more gesso and I'm going to put some down on my craft mat. I stay working on my craft mat because it's so easy to clean up. Here I thought I had a little bit too much gesso, so I put some back, and then the more I started doing it, the more I wanted just the whole entire ATC whitewash. So there's just a little bit of water after cleaning the matte gel off my brush, so I just got some water and just put it in there. So here I'm just dry brushing it more so onto my ATC, and I realized, you know what, I really want this whole thing to be covered, and I didn't want just streaks of white. So here you'll see I just get a little bit more. I didn't want too much because of course I still want the paper to come through the ATC. So I'm just going to really work that gesso in. And, you know, I'll blot with paper towel if I need to. And just try to get all those little edges from layering and working it in. So, of course, I try to clean up as I go so I don't get anything else messy. But here's the dry brush look. You can see that there. You can see that it didn't quite catch all the corners, of course, from doing all the different building of layers. But you just keep at it until you like the way it looks. And here I like the way it looked. So next, I'm going to work on my feather. I'm going to take those distress paints, and here I'm going to use the Wild Honey and just work it in. You do need to heat set these because they are water soluble until they're dry. Once they're dry, they don't react with anything else. So here you'll see that I used that walnut stain. I'm going to set it aside and let it soak in. Then I'm going to use my finger for that leftover spray and ink all the edges of my ATCs. Of course, like I said, I work in sets of 3, so I'm doing 3 ATCs, but I'm actually only truly demonstrating 1. So here you'll see I just picked up whatever was left of the ink, and I'm getting that Wild Honey and that Rusty Hinge, and I'm just finger painting. Just doing a little dab here and there. Now I'm going to grab the Fireworks. And I'm just going to like use my finger to splat it on. I'm not going to spray it. Unfortunately, my actual nozzle doesn't work anymore no matter how many times I've cleaned it. So now the fun part. I love doing stencil work with modeling paste, especially when it turns out how it's supposed to. And I don't break my stencil. Here, I'm just going to grab a palette knife. I'm just going to work in a direction coming towards me. I pull better than I push. I don't want to cover the whole entire ATC per se with modeling paste, but I'm just doing a little bit here and a little bit there just to give it a unique look. And then, of course, I heat set that so I can work with my product a little bit quicker. So here I'm going to get everything ready for laying it out, and I'm going to adhere everything using some Fabri-Tac. It's probably the best glue just for quick and simple and fast drying that I like. So I'm just going to cut that ribbon and lay it out how I had it laid out before and glue it all down. I love the way the chipboard looks. It's so amazing. All the fine detail on that feather. Look at that. Once that's adhered, then I'm going to go ahead and I like to add little sentiments on my ATCs. So I'm going to grab the Tim Holtz Chit Chat and I'm going to pick one out. After I pick what I want on there, I'm going to distress it. I always have a little ink blending tool on my desk in case I need to grab it and do something. So here you can see, and so sorry, it's blurry. It says create. I'm just going to adhere it down even though they're sticky. I'm still going to adhere it down with some more glue. So here's the finished product. You can see all the layers, and thanks so much for joining me.